Hello, I want to take this opportunity to provide you some strategies that can improve your study skills. Now, the umbrella strategy that we fit everything under that we talk about in this recording is known as the 80-20 rule. Simply put, the 80-20 rule states that 80% of what you are going to need to know is only going to come out of about 20% of the material. And that's very true. You see this principle in business, economics, government. Many times it's couched in many different ways. But when it comes to studying, please remember that not all the information is weighted the same. If you're looking at a typical textbook and a given chapter, you cannot go into it assuming as you read it that it is all weighted the same, therefore it all needs to be treated the same. So if the 80-20 rule holds water, 80% of what you're going to need to know is only going to come out of about 20% of the material. What are some tried, true, and tested strategies that help you get at that 20% first? One of them that's been around for decades is known as the OK4R method. Everything stands for something, so we can break it down. The O equals overview. We're looking at a given chapter. What this simply translates to is read the introduction, read the first paragraph under each black or bold heading, and read the conclusion. You might want to tag in to also pay special attention to charts, graphs, and tables because they can contain such great summarizing information, and often we skip charts, graphs, and tables as we're moving through a chapter. So the O again equals overview. Read the introduction, read the first paragraph under each black or bold heading, read the conclusion, and pay special attention to charts, graphs, and tables. You're hitting the key themes, key concepts, key ideas first, just right out of the blocks. The K stands for key ideas. Now you can either start taking notes at this point, maybe a skeleton set of notes that you can add meat to later, or you can start to mentally recycle key themes and key ideas. I'm a big believer that when you write it down, it impresses it in memory that much more. So I kind of lean to the latter. Go ahead and start, or the first thing, and that's to go ahead and start taking a set of notes. That's the O and the K. If I were to put you in a scenario in a classroom where I gave you 30 minutes to read a given chapter and then you're going to take a pop quiz, it's a whole lot better of an approach to start focusing on those key themes and key ideas first. If you could just do the O and K in that 30 minutes, be much better served than just trying to start at the first page, read as far as you could in 30 minutes, close the book, and take your best shot at it. Now, the 4 R's. R number 1, read the chapter through. If you've done the O and the K correctly, that chapter should seem very familiar to you, and you should be relatively relaxed. Relaxation is a whole other topic we can talk about with studying and test taking. Bottom line is, the more relaxed you are, the better you do at bringing in information and being able to retrieve it. Now, the second R stands for write. They spell it R-I-T-E so that they can make an R out of it, so they cheat a little bit there. But of course it's W-R-I-T-E for writing. If you didn't start taking a set of notes back in the K step, you definitely want to start taking a set of notes at this step. And so in R number 2, you want to write. Maybe you're putting a little bit more meat on that skeleton that you started back in the K step. R number 3 is relate. Always try and relate the information to experience. That makes it much more meaningful, much more practical. Either something you've experienced or something someone you know has experienced. This is where you could extend into a memory system such as loci, ancient Greek system based on the process of association. It is a great memory system for visual learners and something that we'll probably talk about in a future recording. Now, the 4th R is review. Always try and conduct 5 to 10 minute daily reviews per subject. You just wouldn't believe what kind of mileage that you can get out of this. You know, if I were to lecture today in a class and we didn't have class until a week from now, I lecture today, you take some notes, you don't look at any of it until we come to class, or maybe you don't look at it at all until we come to class the next class session, and the first thing I do is say pull out a sheet of paper and write down everything you remember from the previous class session. Might be a blank sheet, but if you had conducted 5 to 10 minute daily reviews every day between then and the present, you would have been in great shape. Or if at the least you could have done a 5 to 10 minute daily review on those notes within 24 hours of that class session. There's all sorts of statistics that we can show you that proves and backs up the claim that it boosts information exponentially in your memory system. Now, that's one method, OK4R. A sister method is SQ3R. It's also been around for many decades. There's some similarities between the two methods. There are also some striking differences. The S stands for survey or scan. Looking at a given chapter again, the S would translate to reading that introduction. And here's a difference between it and OK4R. You read that introduction and you choose to either read the first and last paragraph of every section, possibly under each black or bold heading, or read the first and last sentence of every paragraph. Then read the conclusion. Also probably want to pay special attention to charts, graphs, and tables. The Q is the striking difference, and it's why I really like this method. The Q stands for question. You turn the chapter headings into a series of questions, and then you try to answer your own questions. You ask the classic who, what, when, where, why, and how. When you can answer those questions on a given topic, you're guaranteed that you have it down. It serves you very well for any formatted test, multiple choice or essay. So if we were talking about the Constitutional Convention and you were in a government class, when was it? Who was there? Why were they there? What did they ultimately do? You can extend on this. You answer those questions, you're guaranteed that you have it down. It's a critical thinking approach to a given chapter. Now, the 3 R's are very similar. R number 1 is read, so read the chapter through. R number 2 is your choice. You can either write, start a set of notes, or you can relate. And R number 3 is to review. This is where you would do those 5 to 10 minute daily reviews per subject. So again, just to recap, 80-20 rule, 80% of what you're going to need to know is only going to come out of 20% of the material. What are some methods that can help you fit very nicely some of your study tools under that umbrella? OK4R, SQ3R. Search them on the internet. Plug some of these things into some search engines. There's volumes of information, and so you can actually fill filing cabinets with this. Just wanted to break the ice with you, let you know about these items if you've never heard about them before. I think they'll serve you well. Thank you.